It is now my great pleasure to introduce Angela Siefer. Angela is the founder and executive director of the National Digital Inclusion Alliance. More than that, she is a true visionary, helping build a future where everyone has equitable access to technology and the ability to use it. Since 1997, Angela has been working tirelessly in the field we now know as digital inclusion. Under Angela's direction, NDIA advances digital equity by supporting community programs and equipping policymakers to act. Angela's vision for NDIA's role and her own role in the digital inclusion movement continues to center around community, seeing all of you doing the work every day and the people you serve as the heroes of the digital equity story. Though Angela's been building this community and movement for years now, it seems like she's just getting started. She's as relentless as she needs to be. Just in this past year, Angela delivered her 4th congressional testimony on digital inclusion, and may I say, she is very convincing when she sits in the panel in Washington and talks about what digital equity means. Angela was named one of 7 worldwide leaders to watch by Google.org. That's the charitable arm of Google. And most recently, she joined the board of directors of the FCC's Universal Service Administrative Corporation. And who's heard of the E-rate? Does that mean anything to you? Okay, we have some educators here. That's federal money that helps pay for internet at schools. This is the organization that runs the E-rate, that administers the funds. Everyone, please join me again in welcoming Angela Siefer.
Hello, friends. Yesterday, I was supposed to take a selfie with you all because this is a huge group of people and I forgot. So we're going to do it today. Ready? Okay. Okay, you all have really made this an incredible experience for me. Being here, I feel like a rock star. And then I'm going to go home and somebody's going to say, the toilet's clogged. Yeah, I'm just a regular person. And that all comes back glidingly in front of my face. So Yvette has convinced me that I should explain this sustainability issue to you through a prepared speech. So that's what I'm going to do, friends, because I'm really, really into this idea that we can't just have all this money and then be like, well, we're all going back to not having money anymore. That's bullshit. That is really, yeah. Okay, we have 1,300 people here at Net Inclusion. We have $2.75 billion for the Digital Equity Act. This is only the beginning. God. Friends, this can only be the beginning, really. We cannot build and scale up amazing digital inclusion programs just to see it all disappear when the federal funding runs dry. How do we sustain this movement? That's the question. I think the answer lies in robust digital inclusion ecosystems. They're the key to holistic digital inclusion. Coordinating entities work together in an ecosystem to address all aspects of the digital divide. Digital equity is the goal. Digital inclusion ecosystems lead us there by weaving together digital inclusion activities happening across your communities. Robust digital inclusion ecosystems evolve with flexibility to meet community needs. Coalitions provide a structure to that awareness, to collaborate on solutions, and to share the impact of digital inclusion. If we are strategic now, that $2.75 billion will lead to sustained funding for digital inclusion programs, especially if we continue to prove how effective and impactful these programs are. We know that the individuals we work with benefit from digital inclusion. Who else benefits when individuals have access to and the ability to use information communication technologies? Who's ultimately making money from having more people online? First, I'd say let's talk about the private sector. Industry benefits from increased access to their products and a more tech-savvy workforce. The most obvious industries that benefit are healthcare, finance, retail, technology. But every industry uses technology. They all benefit. Think about it. With digital inclusion, people can use telehealth services, banking apps, and e-commerce. The private sector depends on these online activities to reduce costs and increase profits. Broadband industry. Making broadband services affordable and providing supportive services like digital navigation and digital inclusion increases broadband subscriptions. They have finally figured this out. Think about it. Internet service providers strongly support the Affordable Connectivity Program, digital inclusion programs, digital navigator programs. The 4 largest home ISPs have all developed substantial digital inclusion grant programs. They didn't used to. But of course, they can do more. 3, philanthropy benefits. The pandemic led to widespread recognition that we need digital equity to meet societal needs. But we still need philanthropy to understand just how many of their priorities are impacted by digital inequities. Digital equity should be integrated in all types of philanthropic efforts and organizations. Consider different types of social causes. How do people secure housing or get a job today? How do they sign up for public support benefits? How do they manage healthcare for a loved one? Internet access and use are essential to the success of philanthropic social good goals, and incorporating digital inclusion will help their investments have deeper, lasting impacts. 4, tribal, local, state governments benefit from universal technology access. All of these entities have their own priorities and goals. Equitable access to tech may not be a defined priority, but it is essential to addressing their existing goals. Think about it. When residents can renew their driver's licenses, pay parking fees, and submit unemployment claims online, government agencies reduce their administrative expenses. Lastly, the federal government benefits. The same reasons apply here. Plus, they care about U.S. being globally competitive. Consider, the federal government's $2.75 billion for digital equity is a smart investment with high returns. Residents with home broadband, a computer and digital skills have the ability to apply for jobs and participate in online training programs. Now that we know who has a stake in digital inclusion success, how do we get them to invest? And maybe more importantly, how do we help them to realize that today's investment will not be the one-time magic wand flick that permanently closes the digital divide? All of us can take action today to help sustain today's digital inclusion movement. Let's start with 6 strategies. Spread awareness. We cannot lose the awareness we gained during COVID-19. Awareness efforts must include the positive impacts of digital inclusion solutions, sharing stories of programmatic and individual success. The collective power of coalitions can help raise this awareness. 2, build partnerships and coalitions. Let's think about ecosystems as our most powerful holistic solution. When those who recognize the necessity of digital equity form relationships, partnerships, and digital inclusion coalitions, their messages and programs become stronger and your ability to advocate becomes more powerful. Some local, regional, and state digital inclusion coalitions have already impacted local decision-making. We have to gather and analyze data strategically. Our data needs to do more than explain the digital divide. We know it exists. Please. We need the data to address the challenge of demonstrating how the hard work you do each day on the ground, from broadband service signups to device distribution, contributes to the outcomes that resonate with everyone who benefits from your work. This means carefully constructed data collection, program evaluation, and longitudinal studies. Digital inclusion can't stand alone. We need to layer it in with other programs, intentionally weaving digital equity throughout broadband, health, finance, education, workforce, housing, and other social good programs. This will help increase the lasting impact of investments. Make sure these folks are in your coalitions, involved in the work, and contributing to an equitable future. 5, our advocacy has growing power. Look, we have 1,300 people here. To be effective, a broad range of community members need to understand the value of digital equity and have the tools to advocate for community-driven solutions. NDIA is here to help. Diverse voices and people who bring a range of perspectives and lived experiences and professional skills make the digital equity movement powerful. What are we advocating for? We need the following federal policies. 1, in the short term, Congress should renew ACP. In the long term, the Universal Service Fund should support home and mobile broadband subscriptions. Congress should allocate a portion of Spectrum auction proceeds to fund ongoing digital inclusion work. All agencies with permanent funding for broadband deployment should require an integration of adoption strategies and allow funds to be used for digital inclusion. You know what? Let's not piecemeal this together. We need a national digital equity plan to ensure that inclusion stays in focus while providing direction for ongoing action and sustainability. Friends, the historic 2.75 Digital Equity Act is helping us set the groundwork for long-term digital inclusion solutions. It doesn't mean we will achieve digital equity when we have fully spent this federal investment. Along with death and taxes, we can add another known constant. Technology will keep changing. Inequity will still be a frustrating problem. In fact, AI is being developed at rates even faster than previous technological advancements. If we're not proactive, artificial intelligence will cause the next digital divide. As you're out there building your digital inclusion ecosystems, addressing current digital divides, and preparing for the next ones, you are building your community's movement. Collectively, across all 50 states, territories, and in dozens of tribes, we are building sustainability. We are not going anywhere. This will not be easy. I ask you to find your place in your local digital inclusion ecosystems, in coalitions, participate in national advocacy, track your impact, share your stories. Individually, we cannot sustain this movement, but together we can build a magic wand that works. Thank you so much.